Yes, go guys, we're back with Phoenix, right? We're just gonna move on. That glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. But there wasn't anyone else in the room, right? Of course not. Then, who did you pour it for? Mr. Wright, there is a rhyme and reason for everything. Can you just wait a little longer for it to be revealed to you? You know the words, right? Be quiet and listen. Precisely, I couldn't have said it better myself. Surprised when I walked in the room, I saw it in a messy state. So, it was a mess? Are you sure it wasn't messy because of your fight with Mr. Corridor? I understand your frustrations not being able to prove your theory. However, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence. And then, what did you see next, witness? And Juan was sitting there slumped over and tired looking in the corner. Slumped over? Yes, he was just sitting there with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping. Is it just me, or did that right there sound a little odd? Yes, it did. When I saw him sitting like that, I thought that he was dead. Didn't cross my mind. Then what did you cross? Then what did cross your mind? I thought maybe he had smashed everything up in anger because he lost the Grand Prix. And then felt tired after his rampage, so he decided to take a nap. Anyways, that's what I thought. I see, so you didn't think he was dead at all? Well, he was strangled, so there was no way to see if he was dead or not before he, tried to wake him up. You thought he fainted? I thought he was asleep at first, but then the room was in such a messy state. I thought maybe he had gotten into a fight with someone. And that's when you went to pour the glass of juice? Yes, he always had a hard time waking up. So Juan always had a glass of tomato juice to drink. I see. And after that, what happened next? When I realized that it was dead, that's when I knocked over the flower vase over. And how did you come to realize that he was, in fact, dead? I shook him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set the glass down on the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked and staggered backwards and knocked the flower vase over, and that's what happened. Yes, wait. The flower vase was on the table, along with a glass of... Why wasn't the glass knocked over also? And judging from this, like everything is seated, I can't make any sense how she would knock over the vase in that direction. Like, if she was taking her pulse from either side, if she took it from this side, she wouldn't have knocked over that vase. So the only way she could have taken the pulse is from this side. And if she put down the glass before taking her pulse and then knocking over the vase, why is this one still here? And seeing how big this place is, and why would it fall in this direction either? Also, she's standing here. Mysteries. This is what it all comes down to, huh? This is the absolute end for both sides, and Adrian is letting her guard down. Phoenix, now's our best chance to kill the prosecution's case. Isn't that a bit harsh? Miss Andrews, will you tell us the truth this time? Okay, it's important. So... not really sure what to do here, so let me check my helper. Oh, right. The knife. Yeah, right. So what about the knife then? That's right! If he was killed by the knife, she would have seen the knife being stabbed. But he wasn't. That already proves that the knife wasn't used to kill him. Objection! Your Honor. Oh, what? Oops, wrong! Alright. Not the knife. I mean, the crime photo. Because if that's true what she's saying, that she didn't think he was dead, then the knife wasn't on him when she entered the room. And that's she's saying that he was dead implies that the knife was not there. So yeah. Fuck. I was sitting slumped over and tired looking at the phone. When I saw him saying like that, I thought it was... Oh, maybe I'm doing it the wrong one. I saw him sing like that. Okay, okay. This is where we present the pic. Ah, fuck! I think we present it here. There we go. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body? What is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Carter's chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that here was a dead man. That's, well, you see, I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted. And then, so nonchalantly, go pour something to drink. Your point is? Mr. Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. Ah, my 6 pair of glasses! And your lie has proven one thing very clearly. That you are the real killer. It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. Defendant, Mr. Matt Engard, is not guilty after all. That's impossible! You're wrong. Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt. I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan. But you are the one who refused to testify. And your reason for not doing so was that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because... Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. Then there is no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Matt Engard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now that I might think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Oh, he's right. No, then I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matt Engard. Objection! Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. What? The reason is quite simple. My name is not Ichipu. This one has yet to speak the absolute real truth. Again, come on. She lied like 3 times already. The absolute real truth? What are you? Witness, don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Matt Engard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party. That's a lie. I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke that it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty. What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Francisca von Karma. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another, because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. That right now, Miss Andrews is... Yesterday she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word no matter what happens. If you do, Matt Engard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undeniably believes in those words right now, and is clinging onto them. Then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is to get her guilty, or not guilty. That is my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you. Please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Please, help. Someone, please help me. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. The court can't continue on like this, therefore I'd like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Right, I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. And think about who is the real Mr. Mastermind behind this crime. Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else who could be except the woman crying over there, right? Come now, what will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Fuck. I feel like the right thing is to force her to testify. Request not guilty feels like it will be the end. Like getting the wrong end. Let's try. Because Echipu really wants to like this, right? I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it like this. Not when she's making a face like that. Miss Andrews, I would like to know what you are really hiding. Mr. Wright, are you sure you know what you're doing? Sure, Mr. Engar would get an acquittal, but in his place, you would be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial to end? Be quiet! How dare you! You tried to trick me! That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Echipu. However, it's clear that the defense theory is the truth. You're wrong. What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this. However, what is it, Mr. Echipu? Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Stop! Mr. Echipu? This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. What? And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. Stop! Please stop! No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. Have the evidence. I have the evidence right here. That's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report. What will you do now with this? You know what I'm about to do, don't you? Oh, he will declare her mentally unstable, or something like that. The true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please stop! I beg you. If people find out, I'll. If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. Echipu, how could you be so cold? Yeah, she called you. Shitty poo? I don't know. However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips. No matter what I have to do. So, will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me. I'll talk, but please, help me. Oh, was she about to say the N-word? Oh, nothing. Oh, never mind. Nothing matters anymore. Witness testimony, my crime. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted. Honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then, I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife and ripped it off the button. Just when I finished, I was returning to Matt's room. I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the nickel samurai costume. What, you pissed yourself? Stab the body? With the knife? But why would you do that? Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man. But what do you mean by all of this? It might take this court a little while to understand, but this is the truth. The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time. What? Are you saying that Matt is the reason that she killed herself? Last time. So Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Correa, in the chest with the knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt Engard for the murder. And this is her crime. What? How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. Alright, so... She said she just thought of the plan on the spot here. Oh, it might be the one who like really wants the not guilty verdict for Matt Engard. What you could tell from the state of the room was in, that it must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say that you did not know he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck, but that scarf is part of the Jammin' Ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up and went to pour the juice. But I realized he was dead. That was when I formulated my plan. What was this plan you had? I knew right away the murderer was Matt. I knew because Juan, he was going to expose Matt's weakest weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. But Matt Engard didn't know about the press conference. It couldn't have been him. Like, if Matt knew about the press conference, then yeah, sure, he would have done that to stop him. Kinda, I guess he would resolve to murder. But he himself didn't know about this. So there was no reason to, like, kill him there. So the forged pieces of evidence that were the knife and the button. The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. So, that was so you could get the knife, correct? The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at that time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. And then stabbed Juan's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button. So you were the one to stab the victim with that knife. Why does no... Wait, were the fingerprints of her... Well, if she ripped it out... I guess the blood would have covered it all, but... If she ripped it out, her fingerprint should be on it, right? It gives me goosebumps to think about it now, what a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. It moved on its own. Then, when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I used the button somehow, I could make Matt look even more suspect. So you thought to rip one of the buttons off and then plant it in Mr. Engard's sakama. Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? Just when I finished and was returned to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. An inconvenience? There was a woman with a camera at the ready loitering in the hallway. I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lotta. There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready pacing back and forth. That's Miss Oldback for you. I had already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. And that's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. You were the one who prepared the costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from the Global Studios. I also put on Juan's guitar case the day before the award ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold the press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there. And what is this secret? That I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in that Nickel Samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume. I think we've heard enough. So after that, you went back to Mr. Engard's room and planted the button. Into Matt's sakama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into the bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it. My word! What does all this mean? Mr. Edgy Pooh, is it? It's Edgeworth. The real criminal is Matt Engard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Francisca, huh? She said that I should, under no circumstances, confess to what I've done. That if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. Like, wouldn't that also, like, put crime on Francisca? Why is she's still allowed to be a lawyer? Like, her like tampering with evidence and witnesses, like, or manipulating witnesses is very, like, open here now. What this witness has done is clearly unlawful, and so is Francisca for making her do so. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer. Wait, Your Honor. The defense... Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. The cross-examination of this witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright. But... Mr. Echipu, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. That is all. Court is adjourned for today. Oh no. We're still standing here. Today's trial, it's over, and I didn't win an acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I ask you something? Echipu? What is it? Before you leave court today, I wonder if I might look at one thing. That card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remembered just now. I found this in the room on that day. The room? That day? Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there right next to him. You found that card next to the victim's body. I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as this card have any relevance to Juan's murder, right? Yeah, I guess not, but it's still a strange card, if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why. Witness, that card! Give it to me, hurry! Echipu? Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? This. I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. I didn't mean to. What is this all about? I've never seen Echipu so emotional before. It's a shell. That card. What in the world is it? And what does it mean? Fuck! What could a pink shell on a card mean? We'll have to figure that out. You have to find out next time, I guess. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna be here with a high five. Clap!